We have all for him today on the TV. Well, let's just mute that. And we're going to talk about what we are doing today here in the garage. So today is the day that we move this Cavalier. So here's what my game plan is. We're going to get the rear tires on the car. We're going to get everything cleared out from underneath it. We're going to start this car up. We're going to drive it so that it's now nose to the back wall. And then we're going to jack the back up and leave the front on the ground. So that way we can do the header, we can do the rest of the e-brakes, and getting in and out of the car will not be such a pain with this thing on the ground. And then once we do that, we can finish up all the e-brake system and then go from there. So let's get this thing turned around and brought back in. So we're just about to get this car back on the ground here. I have the jack on the far side, so we're going to let this thing down and see how it looks with the weight of the car on it. And then we're going to pull it out for our very first test drive and then turn it around and bring it back. So let's see how it looks on the ground. So this thing is fully on the ground now, and still got bounce. That's kind of nice. So I say we try starting it up, driving it outside. This car has not been driven since it's been brought in here, and we're gonna see how well it does. I'm just gonna leave the header on, gonna leave the hood open, gonna leave Steven's giraffe on there, pull it out, pull it back in, maybe move some of this so I can get in. And then we're gonna make it so the front end's on the ground and the back end's in the air, so then I can finish up everything in the back. We still have to do a little bit of work here to the front, but honestly, I think that the front end on the ground is gonna be a lot easier for the header. So you guys ready? Let's go. Let's see if this thing's gonna start up. Okay, power on. Lights on. I don't know what that button does on. That one's fuel pump. We're gonna turn that off for now. Okay, everything is on. You guys ready? I'm not sure if we have brakes. Okay, we don't have any brakes. Got some brakes. I forgot, we don't have any power steering. Let's fix the power steering before we try to move this. I forgot about power steering. Now there's power steering fluid everywhere underneath here. Jeez. All right, let's get that fixed. Okay, so I just drove it, but I forgot to hit the record button, so I apologize for that. So a couple things I realized. I have no brakes, mostly because I ran new brake lines, but I think I forgot to bleed them. 2, I have no power steering. So Steven did all this crazy stuff with the power steering pump, so I'm gonna blame Steven for that one. So let's fire it up and get it back in here, because this car is full of issues still. Not overly happy about that, but let's figure this out. Let's get it back in the garage. So it's back in the garage. We're gonna get the back end up now. We're gonna start doing all the body work and the rear axle work to this. And I gotta get that rear e-brake all set in, because I kind of stopped working on it. So let's get this thing in position, axle stands underneath it, and then we will come up with some stuff that still has to be done to this. Give me like 10 minutes. Well guys, today's the day we're gonna be working on the back of this car. We got it turned around. I probably didn't film it, because I like to not hit the record button when I want to record stuff. I always forget. It's pouring rain outside today. So, we're gonna work on this. Here's what I wanna do. I wanna take the Sawzall, and I wanna cut this down here. I wanna cut this piece off. I wanna cut all the way up to the wheel wells, and I wanna cut down here We're gonna cut. We're gonna be like a regular old Gordon Ramsay here. Then we're gonna notch the frame aggressively. When I'm talking aggressively, I mean like a 90-degree aggressively. So I might break out the torches just for that, just because it'll be that much easier. Just a cut right through. Then, once we have all this side stuff cut away, we're gonna hook to this, and we're just gonna pull them in. Hopefully everything comes. I really hurt my shoulder the other day, so this is gonna be a test to see if my shoulder likes this. We're probably just gonna take the trunk right off and then put it on afterwards, or just completely ignore the trunk altogether. So, what should I do? I'm thinking if I cut that with the torch, and I cut this side with the torch. You know what? I'm gonna start with the Sawzall, and then we're gonna switch to the torch later on. So, saying that, motor's on. Okay, so let's get cutting, and I'm gonna put this to a time lapse. See you guys right now.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me, cause she got a bad little waist. And we tearing down this place, off the liquor that we chase. Casamigos to the face, baby, I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane. Jealous of the clothing that she wears up on a tight frame. All game, no shame, baby came here to play. I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine. Got a fine little body and her mind's kinda naughty. They say that once you taste it, you cannot replace it. She could get you high, all the dopamine inside triggers fast once she's naked. Her body's a creation. They say the devil made her for his entertainment, but even he couldn't learn how to contain it. Her high heels make a damn good statement. There is no replacement, a body by Satan. She got a bad little waist, and we tearing down this place. Off the liquor that we chase, Casamigos to the face, baby, I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane. Jealous of the clothing that she wears up on a tight frame. All game, no shame, baby came here to play. I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine.
So it didn't go as nicely as I was hoping, but guess what? It's in there. I think the problems really started on the driver's side rear frame rail, because when I cut it and did the notch, I didn't notice, but the whole bottom of the frame rail was rotted out. So the driver's rear frame rail decided to just vamoose. So we have it like this. So my plan now is to weld this from here to here, and then do the same on this side, weld it from there to there. It's getting a little late tonight. I have to go to work early tomorrow, so I'm probably not gonna start on the welding tonight. If you guys seen me struggling with this high lift, when they get to be about this point, they turn into front window bars. But the only downside is I haven't bought another one of these in an auction in quite some time, so I can't really replace it yet. So let's see here. So now we just take the original that looks like junk. It's still got all the big bars on it. Bet you if I undid those. Just give me 2 minutes to undo these. 10 mil. So now we've got the pieces cut off. I don't think that looks too bad. We're probably gonna cut it and then move it down. And then, to be honest, I'm probably just gonna cut it pretty much off and then slide it down. That actually looks a little bit better. Maybe we'll just put it on like that. Just cut the top half of it off and then slide it down until it's on there. So we've changed up our tactics here a bit with the back of this thing. And so what we did was we welded these two little pieces on here to try to make it so that it stopped the sides from folding out. And then I drilled 4 3/4 holes and then put 3/4 studs through them and then double nutted with washers into the body. These 2 inner ones are through the frame rails and through the floor pan. So hopefully, just hopefully, it keeps it all tucked together. Now my plan is to take this and basically put this up on here like this and then bolt it through the speaker deck as well. So I guess the next thing is pop out all the tail lights, cut out all the main inner support, and then go from there. So let's get this thing cut down and then we'll be right back. We got the trunk on. So we have those 4 threaded rods that came through the back. We have them attached to these nice plates here that look like they're off a hydro tower. They're galvanized, so they weren't great to torch, but I did them. And then we also have threaded rod through the top up here holding the trunk lid down. So this trunk lid is the factory trunk lid. It's just upside down and backwards and put back on. So the brake light is actually right here. Oh. But we have a Caravan rebar bumper in there. We got the whole back end put together. And honestly, it doesn't look too bad. What is next is we're gonna be putting a bar across from tire to tire. Now we actually wanna brace all the way to the actual hub, but we also wanna make it so that we can change the hub if they break inside the demolition door, because these rear hubs break quite a bit in the figure eights. So what I'd like to do is try to come up with a design now to take a steel bar from one brake drum to the other brake drum, and then we're gonna have to clean off all the rust, and then we're gonna have to weld it into place. I think we can do this. You guys ready to attempt this? So I'm gonna get some measurements and I'm gonna see if I can find my shovel, because I've been looking for it for about 4 minutes to pick up this huge pile of garbage here on the floor. As you can see, we've accumulated a lot of trash that has fallen out of the back of this car. So this all has to be addressed. So let's get this cleaned up, and then we're gonna take a look into this bar and see what we can do. So the bar, like I said, now that you guys are down here with me, is gonna go from this brake drum to that brake drum, and then make it so that we can change the wheel bearings, because that's gonna be one of the main things that we are gonna have to be able to do, is change wheel bearings on this thing. Excuse me. So let's figure out what we can do here. I'm thinking if we just cut this and then bring the tubing in and then bring a piece of plate down maybe. Because that one bolt is down there, is it not? It's going to be hard to get at, but you can get at it. I don't know. We're going to need to do a little bit of planning and find a goddamn shovel. So I spent most of the day working away down here, and we got the square tubing in from side to side. We cut the perches a little bit, and then I built these little metal brackets to support all the way out to the wheel bearings. Those welds are hideous. Do not look at them. Don't look at them. It's because I didn't clean the rust off. I was being lazy. But now, guys, we have the whole back end of this thing done. The last thing is we need to bleed the e-brake, but the fittings that go into the actual e-brake are not the right fittings I bought. I bought 4 different sets of brake line fittings, and I need deep ones to get all the way into there. So unfortunately, we cannot bleed the brakes. But as it sits right now, this thing's just about ready to start its life as a derby car. What does it need? It needs a header still. It needs coolant. It needs the brakes bled. And that's about it. This thing here is about ready for the Derby World. Yeah, Steven says test and tune. But honestly, guys, I think this thing's ready to get out of the garage. I imagine it still has no power steering. So we got to figure that out. But we'll look into that. But I'm going to do some more research on the internet, try to get the right brake fittings for the e-brakes, and then we can bleed all that, and then we can bleed the actual brakes, because apparently I don't have actual brakes in this thing either. And then we'll go from there. So the back end's done. We got the sides pulled in. We got the bar put on the rear end. We got the trunk put on. We got the rear bumper put on. I think we did pretty damn good today. So thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see you back here later on Zach's workshop. This figure 8 car is just about done. I'll probably wreck it in the first figure 8. But our plan is to go test and tune this. We'll be testing this, and then a buddy's got a figure 8 car that we can try to keep pace with to see how I do against the guy that's actually been doing figure 8 for a while. And then Steven's got a vehicle that he wants to do some tuning on as well, so he'll be out there trying to figure 8 with us in probably a rear-wheel drive Envoy. So we'll see how well that will go.
I'm going to try and keep up.
Yeah. But thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you back here later on Zach's workshop.